Daf Yomi, Tractate Zevachim, page 100a, top of the page. Got this new yad here recently. So if you see this sometimes come in the video, you'll know what it is. But sometimes I point real close to it. So right now I'm pointing, but you can't see it because it's under the camera. So that's that. Okay. Zevachim 100, top of the page, the word is lo kashya. Lo kashya. It is not difficult. Kan shemes lo mes b'alabasa v'kavah b'alabasa. Kan shemes lo mes b'shloisha v'kavah b'alabasa. It's not difficult here in the Braita, where Rabbi Shimon holds that an acute mourner may not send a paschal offering. Since an acute mourner at night is by Torah law, it is referring to a case where his relative died on the 14th day of Nisan and he buried him on the 14th itself. There, the ruling in the Mishnah and Tractate Zevachim, which teaches that an acute mourner immerses and partakes of the paschal offering in the evening, since acute mourning at night is by rabbinic law, is referring to a case where his relative died on the 13th day of Nisan and he buried him on the 14th of Nisan. Okay? Good. Meis lo meis b'avasar ukvar b'avasar yom misa tofes leilo midoi raiso meis lo meis b'shloisha zamek Kavor b'avaso yom kivur mi'rabanan eno tofes leilo Elamid Rabbanan. Rav Mari explains in a case where his relative died on the 14th day of Nisan and he buried him on the 14th itself, his acute mourning is due to the day of death and is therefore by Torah law. Consequently, it takes hold of its following night by Torah law, and the mitzvah of the paschal offering does not override it. By contrast, in a case where his relative died on the 13th day of Nisan and he buried him on the 14th of Nisan, the 14th is only the day of burial and his acute mourning is therefore by rabbinic law. Consequently, it takes hold of its following night only by rabbinic law, and the mitzvah of the paschal offering overrides it. Amar Rashi Rav Mari ואלא המדיקטני אמר לו רבי שמעון תדע אשר אמרו אוינן טוב ולא איכל לספיסחו אבל לא בקדושים נאמר לי כאמינא לך אנא יום מיסו דרייסה ומערכתו לי אז יום כיפור מדרן קשיא. Okay, just one moment. Where are we holding? Kashi, right, but Rav Ashi said to Rav Mari, but if so, it is difficult to understand that which the Braita teaches. Rabbi Shimon said to Rabbi Yehuda, know that this is so. As the sages said, an acute mourner immerses on the 14th of Nisan and partakes of his paschal offering in the evening, but he may not partake of other sacrificial meat. According to your explanation of this statement, let Rabbi Yehuda say to Rabbi Shimon that this is no proof. I am telling you a halacha about the day of death when acute mourning is by Torah law, and you tell me that you have proof from a Mishnah that deals with the day of burial when acute mourning is by rabbinic law. The Gemara concludes, this indeed poses a difficulty for Rav Mari. Abaya Omar lo kashya kan shemes koidim chatzos kan shemes la'achar chatzos קודם חצוס לא יחזי לבסח חייל עליה הנינוס אחר חצוס תיחזי לבסח לא חייל עליה הנינוס. Abaye said a different resolution to the contradiction between the statements of Rabbi Shimon. It is not difficult here in the Braita where Rabbi Shimon holds that an acute mourner may not send a paschal offering. It is referring to a case where his relative died before midday on the 14th of Nisan. There, the ruling of the Mishnah in Tractate Zevachim, which teaches that an acute mourner immerses and partakes of the paschal offering in the evening, it is a case where his relative died after midday on the 14th of Nisan. When his relative died before midday, in which case he was not ever fit for bringing a paschal offering. Since the obligation begins at midday, the status of acute mourning applies to him, and it is prohibited for him to bring a paschal offering. But if his relative dies after midday, when he is already fit for bringing a paschal offering, the status of acute mourning does not apply to him with regard to this matter. So he may immerse and partake of the paschal offering in the evening. Next. Umena temara dishanile ben godim chatzos ben chatzos Titania la yitma mitzvah lo ratza mitamin oto al kocho uma'aseh b'Yosef HaKohen שמעשה אשתו בערב הפסח ולא רצה להיטמא ונמנו אחיו הכהנים ונטימאוהו בעל כוחו. Okay, the Gemara explains, and from where do you say that the halacha is different depending on whether his relative died before midday on the 14th of Nisan or whether he died after midday, as it is taught in Praita. The Torah states with regard to a priest and for his sister, a virgin that is near unto him. He has no husband. For his sister, a virgin that is near to him, that has no husband, for her he may become impure. Leviticus 21:3. From here it is derived that it is a mitzvah for a priest to become impure in order to bury his deceased relatives, and if he did not want to do so, others must render him impure against his will. And an incident occurred involving Yosef, the priest, where his wife died on Passover Eve, and he did not want to become impure, as he wanted to offer the paschal offering, and his brethren the priests voted and rendered him impure against his will. So now he has to go. He's impure already. You can vote somebody impure? That's strange. Okay, anyway. And the sages raise a contradiction from another brayta. What is the meaning when the verse states with regard to a Nazarite, he shall not become impure for his father or for his mother or for his brother or for his sister when they die, because his consecration unto God is upon his head. Number 6 or 7. If a Nazarite went to slaughter his paschal offering or to circumcise his son, mitzvot, for which failure to fulfill them is punishable by karet, and he heard that a relative of his died, one might have thought that he should become pure in order to bury his relative, even if this will result in his not bringing the paschal offering. You rather say, based on this verse, that he shall not become impure. One might have thought that just as he may not become impure to bury his sister, so too he may not become impure to bury a corpse with no one to bury it. The verse states, or for his sister, teaching that it is only to bury his sister that he may not become impure, but he does become impure to bury in that mitzvah. Okay, next. Lav shmamina kan kodim chatzos kan achar chatzos. In the first brayta, contracting impurity from a dead relative is obligatory, and in the second brayta, it is forbidden. Do you not learn from this contradiction that there must be a distinction between the cases? Here, in the first brayta concerning a priest, it must be referring to a case where the relative died before midday. So he was obligated to become impure before the obligation for the Paschal offering took effect. There, in the second Braita concerning a Nazarite, it must be referring to a case where the relative died after midday. This distinction between death before and after midday also applies to acute mourning. The Gemara raises this objection. From where do you infer that this is the resolution to the contradiction? Actually, perhaps I will say to you, both this Braita and that Braita are discussing deaths that occurred after midday, and this Braita about a Nazarite is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Ishmael. The Braita about Yosef the priest is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Akiva. As is taught in Braita, the Torah states with regard to a priest, and for his sister a virgin that is near unto him, that has no husband, for her he may become impure. Leviticus 21 verse 3. This is optional, meaning a priest is not obligated to become impure to bury his sister. This is the statement of Rabbi Ishmael. Rabbi Akiva says it is mandatory. Lo so kedaitach. The Gemara responds, this should not enter your mind, because the Reishahi Rabbi Akiva Ketani La Titania Rabbi Akiva Omer Nefesh Elu Koivim Meis Elu Anachloikim. This should not enter your mind, because it is Rabbi Akiva who teaches the first clause of the Braita about a Nazarite, as it is taught in the full version of that Braita. The Torah states, all the days that he consecrates himself unto the Lord, he shall not come near to a dead body. He shall not become impure for his father, or for his mother, or for his brother, or for his sister when they die, because his consecration unto God is upon his head. Numbers 6, verse 7. Rabbi Akiva says the term body, nefesh, is referring to relatives. The term dead, med, is referring to non-relatives. Le'aviv, aval mitamehu lemeis mitzvah le'imo haya kohen hu nazir le'imo hu te'eno mitame aval mitame hu lemet mitzvah le'achiv shim haya kohen gadol hu nazir le'achavu te'eno mitame aval mitame hu lemeis mitzvah. The verse specifies for his father, even though his father is included among his relatives, to teach that he may not become impure to bury his father, but he does become impure to bury mitzvah. The verse states for his mother to teach that even if he was a priest and he was a Nazarite, and therefore doubly prohibited from becoming impure, nevertheless, he may not become impure to bury his mother, but he does become impure to bury a mitzvah. The verse states for his brother to teach that even if he was a high priest, who may not become impure even for his relatives, and he was also a Nazarite, nevertheless, he may not become impure to bury his brother, but he does become impure to bury a mitzvah. What is the meaning when the verse says, or for his sister? If a Nazarite went to slaughter his Paschal offering, or to circumcise his son, and heard that a relative of his died, one might have thought that he should become impure. You rather say that he may not become impure. One might have thought that just as he may not become impure to bury his sister, so too he may not become impure to bury a mitzvah. The verse states, or for his sister, to teach that he may not become impure to bury his sister, but he does become impure to bury a mitzvah. Consequently, the statement of the Braita concerning a Nazarite represents the opinion of Rabbi Akiva. Continuing with 100b after the break. God willing.